Johnson here, guys, and I've posted it on social media, so to make it known very quickly, this channel will be moving to more sports takes, other non-combat sports interviews. I will still have interviews in the combat sports world. They just won't be featured on this channel. So moving forward, a lot more sports takes. Baseball is here. Football's right around the corner. Basketball shortly after that. But let's start today with the Minnesota Vikings, who are now in quarterback hell. First round pick J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. He is out for the season. The quarterback suffered a torn meniscus in the preseason game last week. He will undergo surgery. Kevin O'Connell has said he is out for the year. And now Sam Darnold, who was in line to start this year, is the only, in my opinion, serviceable guy in the Minnesota Vikings locker room. The Vikings also have Nick Mullens, who we saw last year. He went 0-3 in 5 games. Passed for 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Jaren Hall, he went 1-1 in 3 games, 168 yards, 1 interception, no touchdown. The Vikings need to address who is behind Sam Darnold. And Nick Mullens is a career backup, but I'm not sure if the quarterback room gets any better with just he and Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold cannot do things well in the Minnesota offense, then I think you have to look to bring in another name. And maybe it's not Nick Mullens, but Vikings fans have seen that. So I've done the research for you. Here are some names that the Vikings, who have $16 million in cap space, here are some names that the Vikings should keep their eyes on as training camp and preseason rolls around. Maybe guys they can pick up in a trade, or guys who may get cut from their current team, the Vikings can bring them in. Let's get to it. Bailey Zappi, and this list is not one through, greatest to least. This is the most affordable to the least affordable, and I'll give details on that. Bailey Zappi currently has a $985,000 cap hit. He's a guy never really gotten too much of an opportunity in New England. Again, is he better than Jaren Hall? More than likely. So why not bring him in and give him a shot? Clayton Tune, we saw him get some time with the Arizona Cardinals. He's only got a $1 million cap hit. The Arizona Cardinals have Kyler Murray. They traded for Desmond Ridder to be their backup. Clayton Tune seems expendable. I would look at him as well if I was the Minnesota Vikings. How about a former Pro Bowler? You guys are like, who? Tyler Huntley, former Raven, currently on the Browns. The Browns have Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, last year's rookie, and now Tyler Huntley, 1.1 salary and cap hit, 1.1 million. That is, he's affordable. He's cheap. Again, is he better than Jaren Hall? Yes. Is he better than Nick Mullens? To be determined. Now, here's the big one. Russell Wilson. I believe Justin Fields can take away that Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback job. And most people are going to be like, well, it's because you're from Chicago. No, I just think that Fields has been more available. I think he's more electric. I think he's younger. Neither guy. Really, I could say the same thing for Fields or Wilson. They're both options for the Steelers to move on from. Whoever grabs that. But the Steelers are probably best served by keeping both and either letting them continue this battle all season long or just have one or the other there for veteran backup leadership. Now, another name, Jimmy Garoppolo, and I know he's suspended for the first 2 games. He's got a $3 million cap hit, $1.2 million salary this year. He's got a 2-game suspension, but if the Rams believe in Stetson Bennett, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo is a guy who is now someone they can get rid of even after just signing him this past offseason. Another guy, Taylor Heineke. The Falcons absolutely shocked the football world by taking Michael Penix Jr. In the first round of this year's draft after signing Kirk Cousins to a $100 million contract. Taylor Heineke is a guy who has been an experienced veteran, without a doubt, probably my favorite guy on this list. He's got a $4.5 million cap hit, but I think you eat that money in an effort of just having a better option outside of Nick Mullens and Jaren Hall. For my money, Taylor Heineke is the number 1 guy. You've got 2 other guys. One is a guy that we all thought may have been something starting out in San Francisco, now with Dallas. That's the one and only Trey Lance. Cooper Rush seems to be Dak Prescott's backup. Do the Cowboys still want to invest in Trey Lance, who has a $5.3 million cap hit? Do they want to invest in him as a 3rd quarterback on their depth chart with that much money? I don't believe so, but how many times is he going to get another opportunity before he shows he's either cut for the NFL or he's not? And one last one, Jarrett Stidham. Not sure if he's a guy who would be available. He's got a $7 million cap hit. He's currently on the Denver Broncos. They have Zach Wilson. They have first-round pick Bo Nix. So they may keep all three of them. But for my money, Taylor Heinicke is a guy the Minnesota Vikings should look at. The Viking fans have been through this already. Kirk Cousins went down. Mullens and Hall also came in last year. They didn't do anything. And I know the Vikings were without Justin Jefferson a lot last year, but I can guarantee you Justin Jefferson does not want to be catching passes from Sam Darnold all year. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think the Vikings are in quarterback hell. I think this definitely puts a major damper on the season. Even if Sam Darnold was going to take half the season or a quarter of the season, J.J. McCarthy gave you something to look forward to. If we know anything about the NFL, you need a quarterback, a guy under center who's going to get you excited for Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays in the NFL. Sam Darnold's not that guy. I think we know what Sam Darnold is. A couple of those names, we also know who they are. But look at these young guys. Look. I would say Bailey Zappi. He's cheap. He's affordable. I definitely don't think New England's keeping him. They've got Drake May. They've got Joe Milton. They've got Jacoby Brissett, which is the name I was stumbling on there for a moment. My apologies on that. New England has a decent quarterback room. So Bailey Zappi maybe is a guy Kevin O'Connell could get the most out of. So I'd call New England up. Taylor Heinicke's a veteran that you can rely on. But for my money, Bailey Zappi is a guy. So the options for the Minnesota Vikings are as follows, if you're asking me. Bailey Zappi, Clayton Tune, Tyler Huntley, maybe Russell Wilson, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo, but the number one guy, I think, as a veteran, Taylor Heinicke, the Vikings should go and get, because you're not going to be good with Nick Mullens as a backup. You're not going to be good with Jaren Hall as a backup. And with Jared Goff, Jordan Love, and now Caleb Williams in the NFC North, you have to have guys who can compete within the division. And I don't think Sam Darnold or the quarterback purgatory in that Minnesota Vikings roster can currently compete with. Not saying those names that I've already mentioned will be a starter, but you got to have other options besides Sam Darnold. As I continue to say, I think we know what Nick Mullens and Jaren Hall are. The Minnesota Vikings need to watch the transaction wire throughout NFL preseason. Who gets cut and who may you be able to get for a 6th or a 7th round pick in a trade. I think the Minnesota Vikings need to do right by their offense. They need to do right by their fans. And also, while recording this, Jordan Addison, the young wide receiver who may be facing a suspension due to a DUI this offseason, he went down. Now the team says it doesn't seem to be a serious injury, but Minnesota Vikings are in quarterback hell, and in 2024 they are getting off to the worst start, in my opinion, of any team so far in a ultra competitive NFC North. I'm Mike Pendleton. Follow me on Twitter at MP2310, Instagram MikeP2310. Who do you think the Minnesota Vikings should bring in, if anyone, to their quarterback room? Maybe you like Sam Darnold. Drop a comment, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate it all. We'll be back later this week. We'll never know. I'm going to try to bring a new video every single day, if not every couple days. The Minnesota Vikings need a quarterback, and there's plenty of options for them.